So, today we are digging into the argument from a documentary that claims a secret society has a pretty wild, ultimate plan for global control. What you're about to hear is our breakdown of the claims made in that source material.
And there it is. That single, really dramatic claim is the key to this whole theory. It's basically saying that AI isn't just some new tech, it's the final weapon for a hidden group.
Just to be super clear, our goal here is to unpack the story that the documentary is telling. We're going to walk through their argument, piece by piece, and just let their claims speak for themselves.
The documentary kicks things off with a huge question. Who exactly is supposed to be behind this massive plan? Let's take a look at how the source defines these so-called controllers. Well, according to the film, the group right at the center of this is the Illuminati. The source paints them as a secret society, founded way back in 1776 with this long-term goal of creating a new world order. And the documentary argues that this very same group is still pulling the strings behind world events today.
Okay, so if we follow the documentary's logic about who is in charge, the next obvious question is why? What's the real motivation for this centuries-long mission for absolute power?
The film tries to answer this by getting into their heads, offering up a kind of psychological profile. It claims these people are driven by a deep need to dominate, that they lack empathy, and that it all comes from a place of insecurity. You see, according to this theory, power isn't just a prize, it's the only thing that actually makes them feel safe. Next up, the documentary makes the case that even though the tools have evolved, the basic strategy of manipulation is nothing new. It then tries to show a historical pattern to prove its point. So, to build its case, the source starts connecting the dots between some major historical events. It points to things like Nazi propaganda, the fear tactics of the Cold War, and supposed CIA-backed coups as all being part of the same playbook for mass manipulation. And it claims that playbook is still in use today in our markets and in our politics. This brings us to a really important point. I mean, if a small, secret group is really running the show, how on earth do they manage to control what billions of people think and do? Well, the documentary lays out a specific set of tools they supposedly use.
According to the film, it's a strategy with a lot of different angles. You've got propaganda to mold public opinion, financial incentives to kind of nudge our behavior, peer pressure from celebrities and social media to keep everyone in line, and of course, carefully crafted media messages. But the film argues that the biggest, most powerful tool of all is fear. The documentary really doubles down on this idea of fear, highlighting three key areas where it's supposedly used as a weapon. First up, the fear of pandemics. The film claims this is used to bring in restrictive laws and make people more dependent on the government.
Second, the fear of climate change. This, the documentary argues, is used to push certain political agendas and, distract us from other things.
And finally, there's the fear of economic collapse. The film presents this as a tool to keep the population quiet and to shut down any kind of dissent.
Okay, this is the moment where the documentary's whole argument really comes to a head. After laying all this groundwork about historical control, it introduces what it calls the ultimate weapon in the elite's arsenal: artificial intelligence. So here's the heart of the documentary's concern, and the comparison is, well, it's pretty stark. Where we humans are slow, we make mistakes, we get tired, AI is presented as something that never stops, learns instantly, and is incredibly accurate. The film's point is that this creates a gap that's basically impossible to cross between those who control it and, well, everyone else. So, who actually gets the benefits from this incredible new technology? The documentary's answer is crystal clear. It argues that AI is built to give a massive advantage to the wealthy elite through things like smarter investments and super efficient services, while regular people get the short end of the stick through job replacement. And it's not just about losing jobs. The film points out a whole list of other dangers. It claims AI can act on its own without anyone watching, that it can actually make human bias even worse, and that it just doesn't have the empathy to understand context. But the biggest threat, it alleges, is its power to manipulate us on a massive scale and to take over our decision-making in really critical areas, like the military and finance. So all of this brings us to the documentary's big conclusion. After laying out its entire case for a secret society and their powerful new tool, it leaves us with a pretty dark warning about the future we might be walking into.
And here's the final piece of the puzzle. The source directly connects the creation and funding of AI right back to that same powerful ruling elite it talked about from the very beginning. This final statement tries to reframe AI entirely, not as some neutral tech, but as a deliberate part of a hidden agenda. And this is the final thought the documentary leaves hanging in the air. It paints a pretty intense picture. An elite group is building the ultimate tool of control, and humanity is standing at a crossroads. The one question left is, what's their endgame?